Yes, so which is why I say it's already happening. If you observe, I don't know who else has observed it since he went, to make it work. Apple has not really made anything new. You're just dealing with commerce right now. And on the whole vision and whole idea about it, it's already time. For me, I don't know. And like I said, it's just all, for me, I give it the next 5-10 years. Then I'm probably out of learning.
Out.
No. It's like the way you talk about the kitchen Iran. That is the same thing because they also saw the vision of what their grandparents and their grandfathers did, and they used that same vision, with that same story about what they had. Now, it's just the same thing happening, in our government. Let's put it that way. No one seems to understand that, okay, this continuous vision to make something work out, and that vision is what comes along with storytelling. Oh, okay, this was the plan about this. Okay, this is how we were able to do this. This is why we did this. Oh, okay, I like that idea. Okay, I'll continue it. So that continuity is not there. No one understands why this person started this thing or what was the purpose of this thing. But so much he just dies off. So it all boils back the same thing to even what we do. I mean, for me, I'm not really good with storytelling, but I've realized that almost all the big companies you see in the world today use storytelling to sell their products. It's something that has reified my thing, which is why I so much, But I mean, one of the true ones were Steve Jobs, like I say, that they use that storytelling, that emotions to get your attention, and that is one thing that really actually sells a design product or something, an everyday thing. So it's something even me I want to learn. It's something I even want to learn. Once in a while, I just even go back to his own videos just to see and understand why he was able to sell that idea of something.
And it's very interesting, right? Because whenever Apple, even within Steve Jobs days, whenever like something in UP, when they do that big, him coming out and his thing, the whole presentation, and it's being live streamed everywhere, and they announce all their new pictures. Just see all the angry Samsung and like, we had that. This is last year. It doesn't matter. The spectacle that they have created has pulled everybody in. Like even just the way, when you say continuity, like now you see, and what did they start the other day when they were announcing a new feature, a new app that they had, right? And they came out backstage. They had big script behind them. They had the audience. All that's Steve Jobs. But he has created a way to communicate your new product, that wasn't the way before. Right? But people understood that this thing invokes some kind of excitement and emotion. It was like launching, who was launching tech. And it's such a boring, it's technically such a boring that you don't understand. But they're launching it like they're about to launch a new movie. Or with all the excitement, like it premieres, they count down and everybody's online. Everybody's on their phone like this is what you put Apple countdown until Steve Jobs got on stage, and all that. It just shows you how powerful storytelling is. Like you're not going to get you feel telling me my phone has blah 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 things, but I don't even know what that means. It doesn't matter.
I hate that nowadays. It would matter, but just
matters.
Just that
in a way that is abstract. What really has sold me is that I have entered the Apple kingdom, and nobody, Samsung that never convinced me to come to them. Well, they can want it, but I'm just saying today, or not today. Like my first ever laptop was Apple. It wasn't because of Steve Jobs or anyone. It was because of Sex and the City. But that's all. So the car started at the beginning morning, and I first buy laptop. I was like, oh, that's that guy carries laptop. But again, it's the power of storytelling. Yeah, the reason she was using, she was placed there. It's not a coincidence. Apple has steadily given them to put it in the show. And every time she would sit down and open her laptop and the person that buy a laptop, I was like, I didn't even know how to use it. I'm like, they use.
And now we're talking. Okay, so what Boone was talking and saying, I'm not a good storyteller, and I always say it as well that I don't really. God, I actually talk about that. The problem is actually communicating, because Mo is actually a phenomenal storyteller. I see his work. I know the stuff that he does. He may not be putting it all over the place and talking about it non-stop. But when you see anything that you produce, it's look like I can sit there and formulate a whole story behind it because it carries so much conceptual juice. So you are a phenomenal storyteller, and this because I know you personally. But I think it's just the way we communicate. And that's what Ozzy just said now. The difference between a Samsung or an Apple is just the way he communicates. It's not because any better than they are or has like more technical advantages than it does. But so I guess the truth is that why we're here because we just understand a better way to communicate in what it is that we are about. And then if we're selling what we're selling.
And it made that works for you. I think you would never want to feel like they're aggressively selling if it's still something you can always talk. Yeah.
Plus 100% aggressively want to sell myself.
You don't because you're not doing it. Whoever lose that on LinkedIn. Oh, today I work for all those things. Yeah, but those are
I don't know that manner. I'm very good with one-on-one.
Whatever I said how it works to you, right? Or how you are able to connect people, because if not everyone can connect everybody through every medium, or not every medium comes naturally to you, but it's like, how do you, and I think that it brings back to the idea of like, almost like how do you use storytelling to build community? Because it's like, you say, oh, I'm not a good storyteller, I'm not really sharing my work, but you put together this, right? And because there's something you wanted to communicate, you wanted to engage, you said, okay, we want to have this design talk because we're always collaborating. And it fosters collaboration, it fosters a sense of something, there's an energy here where it's like, I want to get put you will to talk. It might not be on social media, it might not be something that you are going to put and you're like, wow, before it was us. You're like, exactly, but it's still happening. Like, so it's about thinking about storytelling just within your everyday life as well. So I think like, again, what we think about storytelling is too stringent what we're thinking about. We're thinking about, especially in the influencer age, it's always, how do I put my information on social media, or how do I share this, or how do I share that? But it's like, even within the things that you are doing, the people that you're around, the people you constantly work with, the people that actually are engaging with your work, people, with your clients, or this, or that, like what story are you telling? What are they living with? Do they work with you, or do they engage with you and live with a perception that you wanted to be with them, or are they less from their own perceptions? And I think that's what power of ensuring that you are telling your own story is. Like, so even now if you take out work and you just think about yourself as a person, do you think like, well, you're right, without work? Yes, take out work, that yourself as a person, right? People have perceptions of people. I know people walk around thinking all kinds of things about me. Nothing like that. I can like, it's like, it's what it is. Like, there's people that are going to be like, oh my gosh, she's a horrible person. And people are like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. Oh my gosh, she's this. Oh my gosh, she's that. But it's like, she's what are you, triple? And she's building something for the after pointless must reach, what they call it. But it's like, how are you telling a story about your own self, right? And it's from everything, right? You walk in and you see Osaru with her fluorescent nails and big glasses and her outfit and how she dresses every day is a story she's telling about herself, because I really did thinking, oh my gosh, she's so stylish, she's so cool, she's so perky, she's so fun. And then how does that translate into what I've seen Osaru design? Osaru is not going to design for me like a beige room, that's a typical very muted beige design or whatever it is. If I can already tell from meeting her, if I was someone that was, if I'm a client that I'm hiring her and I see her style that I want more austere kind of thing, I'm not going to get the question that she's going to be able to design that for me, or that is something that will naturally be where she will go designer-wise. So even how we present ourselves is telling a story of who we are. How we speak is telling a story of who we are. And it starts to form our identity. And that identity spills over into the work that we are doing, because it's impossible for us to do work that doesn't reflect our values, our identity, who we are as people are cased as well. So just in terms of like your own personal storytelling, do you guys, anybody think like, you're not building a personal brand, but like in every way that you show up as yourself, you're telling a story? I don't like, do you feel like even how you are presenting yourself, or how you talk about yourself, or how you speak to clients, or, do you think that it tells a story, or maybe it spills over into kind of what you do, or somebody will get the right impression about you for facing it?
I think so. Sure. I think so. I think that I try really hard to be very honest. Thank you. To be very honest and be very communicative when it comes to like my clients. So I think a lot of my personality shows in my work ethic and also just the way in which I work. So I would like to make sure my clients think I'm a person of integrity, because whenever they see, I'm very transparent with my costing, for instance. Like, they know that, okay, the price in Amagbola is giving it the price that she gives it, not as it's 200% markup. And I think that also reflects in their interaction with me when you do have a conversation. So I think I am intentional about who I am as a person outside of my business, and just my professional brand to reflect also in my work ethic and just the morals and mission statement I have for my business as well. So I try really hard to actually mix the two combined. Yeah.
Any Nickers?
Hey, mine is I think I choose Gable.
Yeah.
And I'm dating back. I think I'll take Gable at my Insta packs.
Yo, then I'll do your thing.
Very, very serious. I look very serious. But once I get into yes, I could say I think it's a point I asked in front of my cats. What is the best way I cook that's way too serious? Like, if people see me, I want to be like that serious. That's serious. You know? Because there's this ideology as once you look big way too serious, and people that you have to see respect, you know. So most times I think that will like okay, is a get to afraid to area or kind of stuff like that. So what I give for me, there is something that's change spirit that way.
You know, is that most?
Is
Is it what?
Very attractive trait. Into or being more chic or
Yeah, I feel like, personally, it testifies the who you are.
Yeah. I think you should take a little pride in who you are, and it's good. There's so much joy in just being yourself. There's so many people who want to be nothing but themselves. So I think there's always beauty, and that goes again with your storytelling and your personal brand of this is, the Leticia.
And I think as Murad's also about Ozzy earlier, because she's so authentic, because she doesn't care whether somebody thinks this or doesn't think that, it's easier to tell a story. It's easy. Like, so when we are doing like designing projects, for example, if we have like a very strong concept, it's so much easier to fully use even to the fork that we buy for the clients or napkins on the table. Because if the concept is not strong, and I always tell my guys, if the concept is not strong, you're gonna struggle. You get to the end and you bring 500 chairs. I say there are 500 chairs pro you choose, and all 500 are very nice. And you begin reading in the mind. Yes, and you can only choose easily or quickly because you have a strong concept behind. So it's if you are who you are, I don't think that you should try to change who you are. I could have instead hold it. I'm saying it's who I am, and then see how you can joyfully share that to the rest of the world. But the kids, they grew up and using one personality. It tells nonetheless.
See, honest, I actually have to surpass it because I understand what he's talking about. We got very late to maybe, and then maybe I step into your room and say, ready with the I remember sorry, skill yeah. You like nobody. I noticed that silly I prepare you still now, and I say my name is maybe no like the conventional become very informal. I saw you in Spiker and now, or it's either when I'm trying to be in a very serious setting. So I've stopped cycle work on it. If I tag you to myself as Peter. You're like, so Peter, you thought it's completely different. And great to mention expression. And I'm for the likes of jewelry, and I look like jewelry. But my style have been like cozy, very clean, chakanji, minimalistic, very lots of color. So I guess it just depends on like who you are, and they're missing the right people that would I say stocks. Yeah.
That's big. Just from your name.
You literally state your name and to change, you don't say, well,
Why did that same thing about Luksha? Because I saw somewhere somewhere online that there's some program or something like that. Said everybody has dreams.
you know, it's serious on this. I mean, that's the entire story now. It's all about those body and profiling of mercy and something.
But then how do you, okay, so there's got to be a middle ground. Because the truth about it is that I know we said that, okay, a personal brand, yeah, you can create a personal brand, it comes naturally. But there's sometimes that we have to be intentional about. And like I said earlier, the reason why this design house came to be is because I wanted to be intentional about building and ensuring that collaboration, because it's something that I'm truly passionate about. So I got this question, I said, oh, we have been happening naturally anyway to happen. But I could see a vision of when my intention about something, then it will, the effects be triples, it'll be faster and you get more results out of it. So is there a place for us to be intentional about storytelling? And well, definitely in conceptual stuff, we know that you have to be intentional about that. I hate starting a project without having very strong goals. I just don't know how to start because it's what it is.
Yeah.
Then the personal one as well. I'm not very good at online, whatever, but I found that when I have something to say, when there's something that I want people to hear, I will say it because I want people to hear it. I'm proud of it and I want to share it with the world. Like recently, I think I wrote it on. I forgot that we have a storytelling thing today, and I wrote, this is my storytelling era because I have something that I'm building and I want to tell you all. And I could see myself. This is not me naturally. I'm like, hey, Ozzy inside is coming. I want to just keep typing non-stop to tell because it's there. I want it's inside my belly and it wants to come out. You said earlier that it's like somebody said it's like birthing. It says. So it's like birthing something, it's there, and I just wanted to come out.
That's the thing. Like storytelling actually creates intentionality behind everything that you're doing. What you keep saying, like a strong concept, really is a strong story. So what I think about, our brand, dialogue, is this: our story is not just a story of, here is, how we make our products and, the kind of priorities or the artisans that work with, and here are our values. Also, like, we have a story that we have already formed of who we are at the brand. And that story directs everything that we do, even down to the kind of people that we work with, kind of thing we'll walk away from, no matter how much it is, because it's like, why, so for example, we make clothes only on free order, and people are always very upset about that because who wants to just, I want this and I want to buy it now and I want to see it now. And then when we have like maybe events where you can come and shop and things like that, it sells out very, very quick. And you will think, a narrative started to form, they are creating a false sense of scarcity to, feel for me or whatever it was, right? And it's like, actually, no, everything that we do is made very slow. From the beginning, that was it, right? The fabric is made, the cotton is made at Joss. We get the cotton all the way from Joss here. Our dyers are going to dye it. We need to give them 10, 15 days to dye it. It's going to go for this dye. They're going to wash it, we're going to dry it. But we said this is our production house. They are going to, produce it. All this space. Why I was telling you, it will take you 10, 15 days to get it. And then immediately for amassing a lot for maybe like an event or whatever it is. There's only a certain amount of content that we'll ever get to because we're not mass producing. No matter what you do, however answer you get, already say we're not mass producing. And when we have the strong story that we have built behind what we do, and we continue to repeat that story every single time, you find now people start to repeat the story for us. No, this is not why Dada will never do that. Dada won't do this. Dada won't do that. Whatever the case is, and it just shows you again that like you said, it's just intention. And I think that when you are thinking about yourself, your personal brand, your business, your work, whatever it is, there has to be something going to have the strong direction or whatever it is that you want, because that is the idea of storytelling. You're crafting a story. Why you're crafting a story means you're crafting a brand. You're crafting your brand story. You're crafting your personal story. You're crafting what you want to know about the work that you've done for, how you want to present the work after you've done it. All these things are stories, all these things are touch points, and how you want your customer to connect to what you are doing is a story that you tell them. Story they start to tell other people. A story they start to tell themselves, So you're like, okay, what is somebody telling themselves about my work? Are they just like, Or what I would just come and do the same fast, I should just go or whatever. Or are they like, oh my god, she's really this, she really that. You know, that's how people also become advocates for you. Because they start to become your own storytellers too. So even if you feel like, well, I'm not putting myself out there, else when somebody refers you or somebody covers story referral, is because somebody has told a story about you and somebody told the story that they got from you. Do you know what I mean? And so that's how we start to see what the secondary effect of storytelling is, not just as an idea of, oh, here's what we did today at, design house. It's just more like if I leak and I'm like, oh wow, that was really amazing, I had a great time, and maybe somebody else is like, oh, sorry, last month, I'm like, oh no, actually you should go because it's a really great experience. It's whatever it is, like that is how it's like the energy and the thing that you built with this room has created something. Somebody in this room is going to come back to your next design house because they enjoyed this one. Somebody else might be like, oh well, they can't give me like it that much or whatever it is, but it's not for hate. You know what I mean? Which is okay. It's okay for things to not be for people. It's only for me to not be for people. It's only for your brand to not be for people. Because when you have a strong concept, like Osaru said, you now know what is a yes and what is a no as well.
I have a question on the content dash brand thing they said. So like you mentioned like your brand and your storytelling also dictates like who you work with, like what kind of jobs you turn down and stuff like that. Was there in kind periods where you were like, so I'm gonna figure out like, buddy, like I need to figure I need to pay rent, I need to pay bills or whatever. This is something will come back as you, or you always stuck to your responsibility.
And so we start to advance from the beginning, but I also think like this is neither like my partner Ricky is neither her or my first brand. So they came into Dialab extremely, and like every single day is built on a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that we could had over the years, and so it was easier. We've got to the part where we've gone through the part where we did things where it's like, well, I wouldn't do this, but whatever it is, right? So, and when I even say like things that we wouldn't do or people will not work with, it's just as easy as, for instance, we're never going to be a brand that is going to mass produce. So imagine H&M comes to us now and they're like, oh, time to die of H&M and produce it in China for 10 cents and not even like why would we ever reach something that it doesn't make any sense. It's not our brand, it's not our value, it's not our equal. So like when you have a strong story and a strong backing of exactly what it is that you do, what it is that you don't do, like I had a friend, if you take it down to like something like tech for instance, I have a friend who has a gaming company and all the time he gets approached by a lot of like gambling, betting, whatever, right? Because they're like, okay, increase betting game or can you, all this kind of thing, because, betting is like very politic, more than people think in Nigeria, and just one of the ways a lot of people are losing their money daily, or just people are addicted to gambling. And fun fact, gambling is more addictive than alcohol. It's the number one addiction for humans is actually gambling, so there's no much about alcohol. But anyway, so you get all the time, and of course these guys have a ridiculous amounts of money. Like I don't know anyone who works in the business space that is not getting paid stupid. They are getting paid stupid amounts of money. It doesn't mean amounts. Some of them are not even doing anything. Just throw money at the situation. So you get approached all the time and all, but he's like, just for this old personal values, like I set out to build educational games and things for kids and the kind of user that are already on our platform and are loyal to like every game we bring out. I don't want to introduce them to betting. Some of them will buy it. Do you know what I mean? And I will put it out there, my name's going to be out there on this like sampling betting, and so he's like, I always said no and I always turned it down. And I think that's the power of having like a strong personal identity or a strong brand identity, because my brand is not Stamblage, it's not betting. I'm never going to put my name and putting in betting game because somebody says, hey, I'll give you billions of dollars to do the betting game with my betting, collaboration with us or whatever it is like. So it's just things like that. It's like, it doesn't mean like I am sad that, for example, you are providing a service, you might not necessarily be looking at clients and thinking like, I don't like this person, so I'm not going to sign to it. I mean, depending on what you do, but you know that idea, at least sometimes I'm sure, but I'm sure there's a bit more. There might be a bit more, but there goes be something that it'll be something that compromises your design language. Right? I never want to put my name behind. I don't want anybody to ever look at this thing and say, "Mobile done this," or "Mobile design this," or "This is how work." Yeah, and that's the point where you're like, okay, this is not something like this. Doesn't.
I'm going down the roads, right? When I first kissed my Nigeria and I walk into space, I do the same thing. I'll say, so what will you do in this space? Like, yes.
Of course, just take this. So don't be
Okay, come.
What ideas are coming to you?
I'm like, no, what thing is coming to me? I'm like, 100 and 100 what? The space already has, wants to be something. Let's talk about it to become that thing. Don't just ask to be randomly like, oh, what's going on? So, he's a picky later, was very adorable. So, this thing about school needed to make money actually. As in the beginning, when I first started Nigeria, I bent a little bit because, especially style-wise, because everything that I would produce myself was a certain style. But Nigerians were just not into it at the time, and now I've just been like, okay. When I see perfume, they say, wow, very nice, very. When I now show them, they say, no, okay, they're the heads of the Instagram design. And I'm not so proud with it, but then I'm doing it first. I have people to pay else, and it's not bad, but it's not my design space. What I would do is because the kinds of walls are beautiful, then I want them to keep pictures. I want to send anyway because it's not really about. But I mean, obviously, even the years, because of building of a brand, I can now do whatever the leg I got. I feel like a piece of biscuits. It does happen. It's where it's part of the stupid. My boss job, I would do, but then it didn't, in that one limits. You didn't go against my values. It was just part of stuff. She was two ups. Oh, I have a stressing everything. Those oh yeah.
Now to ask the question. Okay, what did you draw the line? What's the relationship between storytelling and marketing? Because I think they are closely related. Although, in my own opinion, I think storytelling is an identity. Like, okay, the identity of the branches and marketing is just a miss. Okay, getting into the. So, I do also. Yes, I should.
I think of storytelling as a form of marketing when it comes to like a more perspective. There's different kinds of marketing, right? There's actually like very technical marketing where you're looking at where you're measuring things, right? User A, user B, response sign, all these kinds of very, very technical science kind, other kinds of marketing. But storytelling is one angle of marketing, and I think they refer to it as sort of like emotional marketing, just when you are trying to connect with your end user and trying to present whatever it is, whatever the work is, the way that they've had an emotional response to it. Like he said, when we talked about Steve Jobs and him coming to present, this new Apple product or this new Apple feature, people are logged in from all over the world, glued to their laptops that don't know anything. People are not tech people who would never ever watch anybody else presenting anything ever. But he has hit on something emotional with his storytelling and how people are so into the character of Steve Jobs and the story he tells about Apple, as the story he tells about his background, about he created Apple, and even when he's presenting a feature, how they even present it, so opposed to the visuals are so nice and the video or things like that. Like it just gives you, you're about to watch something that you're about to enjoy. Even you watch all those Apple presentations, like they're about to watch it. I did actually.
Yeah, I love to use like a little sort of the Canva brace.
Yeah, what was I love it. Just down the emotional.
And it's just how they go do that. They would have found from the person or whoever is talking. It's just the visual experience, just like swag. So it's so wonderful to watch. So storytelling is a form of marketing, a type of marketing. It's not the only type of marketing, but it's a very strong tool when it comes to just building relationship with your audience.
Okay, so Christopher would say, for me, I think storytelling is the direct way to packets. Why 6 way research? You can't just say money still lost the specs. I mean, that's not possible. You have to tell me something about this. That is otherwise, but actually, why is it so serious? But I think that's why they say sell the spec, something that yes. So you need to be able to. In fact, if you watch things like Shark Tank, you see if you're going to present the particular product, they will ask you to tell about yourself. Why are they doing that? Because they want to understand whether you have the you're a staff muscle trainer, or why did you create that product, or what is about you. You have a tenacity to continue what you're doing, or do you want to do what you want? It's not just about come and buy this product or come and invest in this product. So I feel for me it's the direct way of selling a product. Like I said, I don't know how to do it, and because I've come to understand that it's the direct way to sell that thing. So I want to use it as a very good means to sell my products. And I might not be able to do it maybe in the form of the online way, but I know one thing is I'm good with it directly, go to one-on-one. So I can literally later and I just ask you. In fact, because I've used that to learn, I've seen from maybe some movies, some like I said, chapter video. So I've used that sort of find out yes. I'll just look at you and just try to weigh you like one thing or the other that concerns what I'm trying to sell. If I don't find this, I'll look for something related entirely that I can still pick. I'll just ask you something and I'll dive back into that conversation where I want to sell that. And after, even if I'm not buying it, at least I've been able to use something that concerns you or something like that. And so at least when you leave, you have that impression that if someone tries to sell this thing to me, but that's the good idea. Storytelling for me is the highest way to market it.
I don't really think storytelling is just about marketing.
Yeah.
It's essentially passing an idea.
Yeah, that's like the communication and yeah, prospect.
I would just if I to create a synonym phrase, I'll say it's creative communication. Yes, storytelling. Because coming for this dialogue session, the point of view with which I try to understand design storytelling, and right now, yes, they are miles apart. Because I realized that when I was coming, I was just looking at it from the architecture perspective, which is as a result of my background. But then, as time goes by, we continue to talk, I found out that storytelling keeps on getting bigger. It's every year, every 5 minutes, my what I want to say is changed, because my perspective just keeps on changing up until this moment. And what even made me say it's passing an idea is because I remember when we spoke, and I'm an architect. It's an unspoken law that architects don't really like chemistry. In my class in university, we did a lot of people do architecture because there was no chemistry before. That's how bad it was.